I said don't poke me. In fact, if you had any idea of what...
Pedro Serrano, the original voodoo man from Mars, dropped out of baseball to find whatever the hell it was he lost.
Nobody ever said he was stupid. Yeah, well, I'll say it. He's stupid. He's stupid. He's so stupid.
Welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Sequel. This is the movie podcast where we're talking sequels, and we do it in two parts. The first, an interview with an actor or someone involved that made the film worth watching, and the second, a discussion of the sequel, what they got right, what they got wrong, and how it could have been better. Really hope you enjoyed last week's interview with Steadicam operator. It was his first ever Steadicam job on a major motion picture, Charles Papper, and then he went on to be a cinematographer on shows like Scrubs, NBC's Kenan, and of course, Key and Peele. Man, I am so excited to talk about this movie because baseball started. Right now, the Yankees and Red Sox are playing on Sunday Night Baseball. And I'm here with my... what's a baseball term? My co-manager? I guess my shortstop, maybe? I don't know. He's my partner in this sequel watching adventure, Jamie Riccardi. Jamie, how you doing?
I feel like I struck out watching this movie.
What?
I hated it. I absolutely hated this movie. Not only did I not like the movie, I think we have a new front runner for the most annoying character ever.
Oh, don't even say it.
I'm
don't
gonna
say it yet. Really?
I'm not going to say he was so annoying, so over the top. I can't. I wasn't a fan. It wasn't a good movie. I mean, again, we'll get into it. I understand what they were trying to do. Just there's so many things that didn't make sense with the movie and what they tried to do.
No. A lot did not make sense, and we'll talk about all of that. But here's all I'm going to say, and then my job, because you're letting me know right off the bat, I'm like the attorney, or I guess I'm the defendant of this movie. And I all I'm going to say is I love any kind of comedy sport-wise, like baseball, movies like this. It's a shame that they don't have that movie for like the now generation, like a Major League or Major League 2, because those are such like touchstone movies. They don't even attempt them anymore.
No, and I agree. I do enjoy those type of movies. However, I honestly, I don't think I laughed at any of the jokes. Like I don't. Yeah. And again, I really thought he was so ridiculous as a character for the role he had. I hated him. I thought he was so annoying, and he's definitely in my top 3 now for the most annoying characters.
Wow. Okay. So watch out, Alan, and watch out. What's the guy's name?
It was Alan and Ryan. Brian.
Ryan and Brian. So now we'll get into this movie. First, I got to shout out. There's so many great listeners. We have this one guy. I feel like he's been following us way back since. I'm telling you, man, I really think it was either Rambo or even before that, Escape Plan 3. His handle on Twitter is @PresidentMonkeyVado. This guy is so great because not only does he like listen, he like tells us different parts of the episode he likes. So that means a lot. So that's so cool. And also I have to plug future interview, great guest, Patrick Laberto, his online acting school. If you want to take some acting lessons and you're not in Hollywood, don't worry. I'll put the link in the episode notes. It's workingactorschool.com. He's going to be a great Sharknado sequel finally when it starts getting a little bit warmer out in the Northeast. So that'll be fun. But let's play ball. Let's talk Major League 3. Let me try to convince you that this is a better movie than you.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'm going to say it's impossible. I mean, there've been some movies that you try to convince me, and I'm like, all right, you know what, fine. I think this is going to be tough. This is going to be a tough one. Okay. I'm up for the challenge. I'll be open-minded. But it's gonna be tough.
All right. Well, I'm down for it. So it was pretty cool. Like, and I think I told you this. Morgan Creek Pictures that did this. They did like Ace Ventura. They did a bunch of movies during the span, and then they liked our Ace Ventura tweet on Twitter, Ace Ventura 2, when we covered that a few years ago, like recently. And I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. Verified account. They had like 2,500 followers, and I'm like, wow. Like a movie studio that put out so many awesome movies.
Morgan Creek sounds like it should be like a thriller kind of like. I feel like they would write thriller movies, not Ace Ventura and Major League 3. Like so, but no, it's definitely cool. And this movie is basically Bad News Bears adult version.
It is, and pretty soon we'll get into the whole like what makes zero sense about this movie and how it could have made more sense. But then we open up with Scott Bakula, a guy. I think he's such a great, not a great actor. I think he's great in all the roles that he does, but just like such a likable guy.
It's funny. That's the one thing I did write down. He does come across like a very likable guy. I loved him in Necessary Roughness when he played.
Hell yeah.
Oh, very similar role, football compared to baseball. And yeah, he plays that like humble guy that just wants to play and help people. Like, yeah, he always like everybody's dad. He's like comes across like everybody's dad.
And I think like in this role, I believe him as like his character, a washed up pitcher. We open up the movie with him and he's getting shelled by minor league players in some little dingy park somewhere. And he goes into the dugout to grab his special ball.
Do they really have those? Do they really have those in minor leagues? So like, is there like one that they take out of the oven too? And they throw that down there too? Cause this was a frozen ball.
Well, isn't that the heater?
I guess. I mean, this ball had frozen steam coming off it, frost coming off it. Like, like it was so absurd. It's so ridiculous.
I wonder I don't know if that was one of the things that used to happen way back in the day. They had obviously like the spitballs. They had like the nail files of the baseballs. I don't know.
What was the guy in Major League? He had the grease ball, right? Didn't he have Vaseline under his hat?
What, you mean the guy that always looks 50? Like even now?
And he was their starting pitcher.
He was, wait, not even this. It was him and Shoop. Remember the guy Shoop, the relief pitcher? That was it. Those two guys.
Well, I got news to you. I mean, based on this team, there's really only one player per position. So, I mean,
well, no, we have two pitchers. We have, we'll get into Hog.
Yeah,
the final game to me makes zero sense.
Oh. Okay. The concept of the movie makes zero sense because this would never happen.
No. I know it never happened, but it's like what they do in English Premier League in soccer. Like if you're in the bottom four, you have to play like the lower league. Man, if no team would ever try this, just like no team would play, like the worst football team wouldn't play the best college football team just for that chance of losing or looking bad.
Or the chance of getting hurt. Like, I mean, like it would no way. He said that he had so many money stars on his team. They don't even want to play in a regular game. They're going to waste their time playing in a minor league game. And
wait. You say money stars? I only know one guy's name, Carlos Liston. The only guy. Makes no sense that they didn't talk about anyone else.
Yeah, no, I know.
And I think that in the other movies are the same thing, I think, because you had Parkman in the second one when he went to the other team. You really only heard his name. In the first movie, it was the guy from the Yankees with the big chaw. Yeah. So I guess they do that, but it was so weird that it was just one guy that we saw on the other team.
Well, I'm assuming the budget was so much less in this one because, I mean, there was a lot of CGI also in this movie with Tanaka. I guess there was a play with, I don't know if you remember. Oh, yes. My goodness. So, I mean, and I wonder if would stands really be crowded to see a minor league play the big leagues at a you'd pay money to go to Yankee Stadium to watch. It was packed.
Yeah.
No,
it was. So. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. All right. we're far into the movie. So
if you had a local minor league team where you lived, and they were the Mets affiliate, and they were playing the Mets, you'd be like, hey, let me go check out these guys I watch all the time.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go to Citi Field to watch the Mets play their minor league team. It was packed. There's no way I would do that. I don't think anyone would do that.
$10 tickets, you go there and sit really close? Come on.
They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. So, all right, forget it. I did like the credits, the fact that it really it went right into a baseball game. It started right away. So that was they didn't have to go through the nonsense of seeing credits or something stupid. Like it was right to the game, right to the source.
Good old Gus Cantrell. And he gets thrown out of the game. And I love that he's like trying to like talk to the umpire. Come on, man. I only got 2 more outs and then I'll be done. Like, really, that would work. Okay, keep cheating. That's fine. We're going to get out of here right after that. Nope. He gets tossed. And then we cut to the crowd.
Is minor league that like little leaguish? Because they really make the minor league look very little leaguish. Like, I mean, like, okay, so Dorton's got tons of money. He owns the Twins, but his minor leagues dugouts and everything are like shambles. Like, is that really how it is? Like, right? I mean, wouldn't you think that it would? I don't know.
No, you're right. No, they look dumpy, and they
like,
are. They are. But like,
I've never
some
been
of
to
the
a
ones
minor
in the
league.
middle of the country. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So some aren't as nice in the middle. Like, so I don't know where he was pitching. I'm guessing he was probably single A or double A, which is usually the less money. And then we'll get into that in a little bit, like the different levels, because I don't think this movie understood.
No, because even when he coached, it was such a crappy, like, who would want to play? I wonder if it's really like that. I mean, again, I don't know. I'm being serious. Like, I don't know how, like, because I would think if the Yankees have money, wouldn't their minor leagues also have like a decent? No.
Yeah, some teams, but then other ones. Up until last year, these guys in actually major leagues, they weren't getting stipends for rent and stuff. So they were like losing money, sharing rooms, renting, like
right.
Now that Major League made it so they have to buy housing for them, which is pretty cool. Very cool thing for any baseball fans out there. Like, hey, what about minor leagues? We're here to tell you they have houses now. Pretty cool. So yeah, Jensen Daggett is like, she's in this movie. Of all the people from Jason Takes Manhattan that I thought I would see, it's funny when we covered that movie, this Major League 3 is like a touchstone for me because I had it on VHS tape. It was another one of those that I watched a lot. So I don't know why in my life I never put 2 and 2 together that she was the same person, but she's in this movie. And then you mentioned Roger Dorn shows up. Like, what's he doing? And why is he on the Twins and not the Indians?
Yeah. So see, this is part of why I hated this movie. So, you know, they have 3, they really have 4, but 3 characters from all the other movies they're trying to bring back. It's I feel like it falls into the Police Academy problem where, you have your main characters and by the time
only the 7th movie is the problem. Police Academies are pretty great until 7.
They are, but again, when you're trying to run the movie with Tackleberry and Hightower, it gets really silly. The fact that they bring back Tanaka and Joe Bull or whatever, what's his name? Serrano. They bring them back. And like, it was just like a clowny. It was like it was so over the top. Like, it really wasn't necessary to bring that back. It was just for nostalgia purposes. But to me, I feel like it kind of ruined it. Like, I don't know.
Well, here, we'll talk about it in a second. So the reason that Dorn is there is because Gus says he's done. And Dorn goes, all right, I want you to coach this minor league team, our AAA team, which, man, I don't know. That's pretty cool. Like, why not? And he says, these AAA guys are a bunch of schlubs. Okay. So in my head, I'm like, that's not how that works. I can understand this was like a single A, which usually like guys that are like older that you think might happen, like rare shot of them ever making it to the show, or an independent league. Like, then this would make more sense of a movie. But no, schlubs aren't in AAA.
Well, you're telling me a catcher in AAA, as in Brew Baker, who can't throw to first base is still catching? Who couldn't do it in the major leagues, can't do it in the AAA, but he's still their number 1 catcher. And apparently their only catcher.
He's their only catcher. And then he even says, Scott Bakula, when he sees him for the first time, he goes, hey, Rube, you still having that trouble throwing back to the pitcher? He goes, yeah, first, second, and third. So, yeah, he has this issue. But if you have a AAA team, you don't pick up a Pedro Serrano who, at this point, this is 8 years after the first one, he's probably like almost 36, 37. You don't throw those guys in AAA or pick up Tanaka from his mini golf stand.
And they go right into the game. Like there was right. Like they replaced those those players within seconds. Like the players that were on that team that were still good enough to go there. These guys that haven't played in 10 years go right in there.
Took their job. The fan base would be pissed. Like if the Yankees were like, "Oh, we just signed Jason Giambi to be the first baseman on the AAA team," I'd be like, "What the fuck? Why are we doing this? This makes no sense." I love Giambi, but he's not going to play on the show anymore.
Well, being a Mets fan, I feel like the Mets have done this so many times in the major league level. You know, we'll get Pedro when he's got 3 years left of his career. We'll get Mo Vaughn when he's got, you know, like we always got the guys that were at the end of their career. But not
Sounds
anymore.
like the Knicks.
Well, yeah, well, that's true.
It's the Knicks. So then Dorn convinces him to go watch his kid in order to convince him. Downtown Anderson, Walton Goggins. This is like second or third movie because we covered one of his first in The Next Karate Kid. And wow, dude.
Wait, this kid, he looks like he's like 35 years old. Like
he's always looked old because he was a high school kid in The Next Karate Kid.
Yeah, he looks weird. I mean, he's always a weird looking guy. He's an awesome actor. I mean, he always plays that bad guy and like, you know, like, and it's funny, like he started off as that and like, you know, you kind of like end up liking him at the end of the movie. Like he's just, he changed so much. I mean, so, no, he was, you know, he was a good character in there. I mean, but even I was going back to Dorn. I feel like he's played a different character in all 3 movies. Like, you know, he was that cocky guy in the first movie. You know, second one, I don't remember as much, even though we covered it. And he was actually likable in this movie. Like, he's never been likable in any of his movies. Like, he was
likable in the second one, but he turned into a wuss because he, like, came out of retirement.
Oh, that's right.
He was an owner in the second one.
Okay.
A part owner, and then he came back out of retirement. And then remember he gets hit with the pitch and he goes,
Yeah. All right, so he was wussy, but this one, like, he was a likable guy. Like, he really wasn't arrogant. He was just trying to do the best for the team. So I actually like this character. It wasn't, you know, and I could, for bringing a character back, I'm okay with that because he wasn't playing. You know, I could see I could be a player being an owner, so that was fine.
Yeah, and he made sense for me in the sense of like the way his character was. But what was weird was he seemed like he didn't like being the owner of the Twins. He cared more about like what Gus was doing with the AAA team, which again, it makes sense because it's your feeder because you want, but he was like down there a lot. Like, I don't know an owner that is really flying down to the AAA. I don't think Hal Steinbrenner is taking a flight down or taking a ride to Somerset to see his feeder. I'm not saying don't do that.
Weren't they a joke though of the major leagues? Like, the way they were playing, like they weren't that good, right? They were really bad.
And that's what I was thinking. That's why the movie changed. So that's what I was thinking. I should have looked it up, but the reason that the Indians weren't the team in this one, because at this point in the career, Indians were in the World Series,
right?
In '95. So that was probably, maybe they were like, yeah, you know what? Yeah. We needed the money during the first 2 because we weren't that good.
Right.
Now we're better. Now we don't need it. And the Twins are like, oh, we're after the Paul Molitor and Kirby Puckett eras. We suck. So you know what? We'll do it.
And that's what I feel like there was. So I think that's what it was. I didn't, it took me. I didn't realize the relationship between Gus and Vaughn. Not Vaughn.
Dorn.
Dorn. Like I didn't like. I thought they were brothers at first because the way like they interacted at the bar and then also they hugged. I'm like, oh, this must be his brother. Like I didn't know because there was a lot of, like I don't know, I didn't know their relationship. But
that's what kind of made no sense because they made it seem like obviously Dorn was in baseball for a while. It seemed like he was always on the Indians, but it was like, oh, good old Gus Cantrell. It's like, I don't know if Dorn would know this guy that never made it to the show. Like,
and Gus obviously was, you know, he was good for the minor leagues, but Poppy or Daddy?
Pops.
Or Pops. Okay, so Pops was in the minor leagues his entire career, and they didn't know each other?
Well, they probably don't. You only play, like, regionally.
For the career they're playing, like, you don't tell me they didn't cross paths?
No, I'm sure they might have, but yeah, because they only play regionally, because they don't want to pay for travel. They don't. These teams take buses everywhere. They're only going, like, between Pennsylvania and New York, like, in Jersey and stuff like that. But, yeah.
All right.
Pops, and he was old. He was like 45. What's he doing? Another guy. He should be an independent or single A. Him and Pedro and Tanaka. That's fine.
And he was playing center field, I think, right? It's just, and you know, it's funny when he first met him. I thought he was like the assistant coach.
I didn't realize he was when he picked him up. Yeah.
Yeah. So then he's talking, he's meeting the players. And then when he had that conversation with him, I'm like, wait, is that the same guy you were just talking to? Like the coach is the player? Like I was a little confused on that. But yeah, center field.
And then, so for the first time when they're going to see Downtown, we see Huff. The man, I guess that's the character, Ted McGinley's character. You didn't like the way he was?
He was just, in the beginning, he was fine. In the beginning, he played his normal, arrogant, pretty boy character, right? He played that role right in the beginning. Fine, I'm okay with that. But he became kind of crazy throughout the rest of the movie. And like he was so unhinged the rest of the movie, like over the top, like he has like a bag of seeds in his mouth all the time. He's spitting. It was just like they made a cartoon character out of his character. I feel.
See,
and it was just,
I loved it because you saw somebody like going insane, and he was like so funny in the 2 games that they played. You saw him one time, and he's like, "Yeah, boys, we got this, boys, yeah." And then the next time, like, not like the complete opposite. You guys suck.
He was so unhinged, and yeah, you could see the regression. Like he was going backwards from the minute you meet him at the barbecue, whatever, the hot dog place, to the end of the movie. He's slowly becoming psychotic. Like and it, compared to the other guy who's so relaxed, he really is reserved the entire movie.
Oh, Gus is
like,
great. Yeah,
he doesn't sweat at all, and he's just calm, like super calm the whole movie. Which I don't know how he does it. Like Yeah.
And I guess they sort of know each other in a way because within seconds,
sort of know each other.
Bang
he
his
knew
girlfriend in seconds.
I wrote that down. I go, how did he even know he wasn't even with her? Like he literally put his arm around her as he's standing next to her, ordering her hot dogs. He walks over, puts his arm around her, and walks away with her. Yeah.
You watch baseball? I manage a little team, Minnesota Twins. Ever hear of them?
Did they ever explain their background at all? Because clearly there's did they fight over the same woman years ago, and like Bakula won or something? Like there's something more than just
I know they could have done a little bit of some kind of
or just bring it up
backstory.
Like he could have said, yeah, I've known him a long time because I stole his girl back in the day or something like that. Like he could have told his girlfriend. Like he didn't say anything. So you don't know why their rivalry is so
Or Doran could have been like, oh, he's still pissed about when you struck him out back in 82 or something. Like, give us one of those things. But yeah. So then I do love right away when you see Downtown. And I think their relationship between Downtown and Gus is so great throughout the entire movie. Because when he first sees him, he's like, what do you think of him? What do you think of him? And he goes, I don't think he's ready for the show yet. And he was kind of like, whoa. And he goes,
no one talked to him like that.
Yeah. No, I think that's what he finally appreciated when we saw the evolution of him at the end.
Yeah.
But when he's like, when I was a kid, I had 3 of your cards. And he goes, oh, yeah? He goes, yeah. Then I traded him for a player to be named later. It's like, damn.
Yeah, he dug at him. I mean, yeah. You know what? He played that role really well. And yeah, no, it's, I just question, though, a guy that's been in the minor leagues for so long, who's a pitcher, not even is he a hitter? Like, was he a
Gus?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he was just a pitcher.
Okay. So how the hell does he know anything about batting and if this guy is ready? They made him sound like he was I almost feel like they shouldn't have made him a pitcher. Like Gus should have definitely been, again, last time he was the catcher who Berenger
Tom Berenger, yeah.
Yeah. So to me, a pitcher, how much about batting and fielding do they really know?
Well, maybe not about fielding, but they got to know batters. They throw to them. They have to know the mechanics and what guys are looking for and how to pitch to a guy.
They may know, they're not going to know the mechanics. They're going to know the mechanics of how to swing a baseball bat.
No, not about. Well, these guys are at the level they should know how to swing by a bat by now. You tweak it, people's at bat when you get to the pros. A hitting coach is there to say, "Hey, you're doing this little thing here." Not how to fucking swing a bat from the start.
Okay, these pitchers in the pros can't hit for crap. So for him to be telling this kid, how to bat when he's clearly hitting home runs and crushing the minor leagues.
But what happened when he was just crushing home runs?
I understand, but I just feel like he was kind of overstepping his bounds a little bit. He's a pitcher.
Wow.
He's a nothing against pitchers. I was a pitcher. I pitched, but
every pitcher just turned off the podcast.
Yeah, but all the hitters started listening to me. So
yeah, this guy knows me.
This guy gets it.
This guy gets it. So how about when he offered him the job? He goes, "I want you to coach the Buzz," and he's like, "I don't know. I want to take a year off." And Maggie Jensen Daggett, again, their relationship, they've been supposed to be together for years, and they're just like engaged. She's like, "You should take the job," and I'm like, wow. She's like, she said it like 3 times. I'm like, okay, she wants separation.
Well, not only did she say it 3 times, but didn't she make a remark like, if you don't take it, what else are you going to do? Like, you don't have any other skill. Like, and then that's what got him like, kind of like, it was like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if she did it on purpose, but it came across like that. And that's when he really, she was adorable, by the way. Like,
I like her, and I loved her in Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
But she reminded me of Renee Russo. Like, it was the same kind of character.
You know what? Yeah, same kind of hair too, and the way she dressed, even. Yeah.
Oh, shocker! They're taking things from the first movie to try to make this one better.
It's sequels. That's what we do. So then we finally get, like you said, Pops. Bakula flies in. He lands, and he gets picked up by a bee, a giant bee.
Yeah, I was a little confused by that. Right off the bat, I was a little confused what's going on.
And Pops. And then then he meets all the guys. He meets Lance the Dance, and he meets the California bro, Hog, and he says, "What's up?" And the whole movie, I feel like all of his lines are just those phrases. They shoehorn every but I don't get it. He talks like that, but his name's Hog.
And honestly, I thought when he first started talking, he wasn't talking with that until he met the coach. When he was introduced to the coach, that's when the California Sunshine Boy came out. But before that, he was talking normal. So I don't know if he plays like I don't like he's kind of a weird character in this movie.
He is really weird, and then he has a cool evolution. So there are some characters within a silly comedic baseball movie. There are like actual character arcs for so many different characters. A lot of movies don't even think about all of that. Like a lot of movies that we cover that we say, "Oh, this movie sucks" or "This movie's not good." They don't even think about that. But every one of these characters, not like the ones that returned, they have all these little like peaks and valleys. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they do. I'm trying to think of where I saw that before. Oh, it's right in the first movie when Vaughn wanted to pitch to the guy that looked like Don Mattingly. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, right. I've never seen that arc before of a guy that doesn't want to pitch someone who eventually does pitch to them. That's what, very creative on their part. I got to tell you, that was very good.
But it works. Carlos Liston.
It's the same exact thing that happened in the first movie. Exactly.
How about this? Was. Not only are Rube Baker, Pedro in a little while, and Tanaka back on this team, Bob Uecker, he got fired by the Cleveland Indians, and now he gets picked up by the Buzz. He's doing these games.
He's that good. He's that good.
Within seconds, he does an ad for Diet Coke.
He's a little out of control. This movie, like he's like I do think the guy next to him like is funny, just on the side, like because he doesn't say a lot of words till later on, and he's just like realizes what a lunatic Bob Uecker is. Like he really is a nut job. And
you're talking about not the AAA guy. You're talking about the guy looks like he's from the South that works for the Minnesota Twins.
I was talking about that. Yeah, the AAA guy doesn't say 2 words at all, and he looks like he's 90 years old.
He just looks at him. He's probably like a producer, a hotshot producer, like Jerry Weintraub, one of those guys, and just like, I want to be in the movie. Okay, but you can't say any lines. We're not putting you in SAG. And he's like, all right, fine.
Well, when the first time I saw Uecker and I saw his sidekick for 2 seconds, like I wasn't really paying attention. And then in the back of my mind, I'm like, wait a second, was that the same kid as the first one, but they made him look older? Because I thought I didn't realize. So then when I went back, I realized no, the guy's like 90 years old. But like it would have been funny if they had the same kid who also doesn't say 2 words.
Why was he not in this?
I know.
What was he doing?
Well, he got a big career away from acting.
Like really, like I hope we're not making jokes and something happened to him, but why would he not be in this movie?
Maybe he commanded too much money after his
what was his
strong
name?
performance.
Was his name Tony or Robbie? He had a name like that. He's like, oh yeah, and he's like breathing into the bag.
He literally did. I don't think he says two. Is he in the second one also? He's in both movies?
Yeah, he says like one line, I think, at the end of each movie or something.
Well, it is hard to get a line in with Euchre. I mean, he just I wonder how much is ad-libbed with him. Because he really
I'm sure it's all of it.
Because he really just goes. I mean, he's so smooth with his lines, it's great.
Yeah, and then we meet the rest of the team, the Juan Lopez's. Well, Doc, who looks like Jim Gaffigan.
He
looks like Jim Gaffigan. Like now Jim Gaffigan can play that role, but he is introducing all the players because Gus is looking at the team and it's like Juan Lopez, and they both one pops their head and then the other one.
Well, no. Before they popped ahead, he goes, "Wait, you have the same guy playing 2 positions because they have the same name." Says no. But I didn't like Doc either. At first, I didn't like him. He was annoying. Like he was until like I realized his purpose in the movie. But he's another one. He looks like he's in his 40s. Like he looks
should
old.
be in A or independent baseball. Like somebody that has just been in the game forever and wants to keep playing because they love it, not because they're going to go to the show, which is AAA people.
And why would you possibly keep someone on the team who throws less than 50 miles an hour? That you're talking about like little league, like 4th graders. Like I mean, you're not talking about really what 8th grade maybe throw 50 miles an hour. Yeah. So I mean, like, why would you keep this guy on the team? This is the minor leagues. Let's hold a roster spot for him.
Yeah, not even the minor leagues. The fact that Rube, they can't afford a radar gun, so he bought one from this California or the Highway State Patrol at an auction, and it doesn't clock anything under 50.
That might have been the one funny line that I thought was funny, because then everything made sense there.
Yeah. But yeah, so he when he's like 1-1 and 1-2.
Well, you go, and the Doc was insulted. He says, "I don't want to," or something like he doesn't. And then he goes, "You want me to call you 1-3?"
Yeah, right? Yeah. So he goes, "I really think that would take away from their identity as who they are." He has another one that's really funny later in the movie. Oh no, he is annoying, but that's who he is. But when he has the one about Rube, later, shit, that was really funny. That whole part.
Yeah.
So then, what does Gus do? Because the 2 brothers fight each other. He puts leashes on them.
It's like a leash or a bungee on them or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think that would work?
Hit each other.
Yeah, I mean, besides like pulling your back out and like breaking a rib, like do you think that would work?
I think so.
Because
they fall so hard
when they run, because they're running as hard as they can. They get yanked back so hard. Like I think it would have been funny if like one of them like broke a rib and like they can't all right, that doesn't work. Go to plan B.
All right, the one we don't have to worry about calling 1-1-1 or 1-2. 1.
That makes things a lot easier. That's
So then another person that's back from the first 2 movies, the assistant manager for the Buzz was the assistant manager in the first 2 movies. Same guy. I'm like, that guy looks so familiar, and then I'm like, that's it.
Does he talk in the movie?
Barely. He doesn't talk a lot.
There's quite a few characters in the movie that really don't say anything.
Oh, most of the teams don't talk.
Most of the team, but most of the players. I mean, I think maybe one of the wands talk. Maybe I think maybe during the fight that was the only time they talked.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, yeah, like I mean, and it's kind of strange. I don't know the players who play the position on this team. Like, I feel like they only focus on 4 players and that's it. So like, I don't know who's the third baseman. Do you know who
third base is Lance the Dance?
Oh, that is?
Pretty sure it's Lance the Dance.
All right, who are the 2 outfielders besides? I mean, well, who are the 3 outfielders besides?
Pedro. Later, it's
okay.
Pedro Tanaka, and then I guess downtown because downtown doesn't play second or short. So
okay, no, those are the ones. second and third.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And Pops is at first. So I guess Downtown has to play the outfield.
Okay.
I'm guessing. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So then we get what we mentioned before. How is Pops an outfielder? Because he can't run. He's fat. He's overweight. Gus buys him a gift. He buys him a first baseman glove. And I love when he's like, well, here, open it. And he goes, this is a first baseman glove. That's exactly what the guy at the sporting goods store told me.
And this was the moment that I realized that Pops was a player. Because he sat down there and he took his hat off. He clearly looks old. And he gets a gift. So I'm thinking all right, he's getting his coaching staff a gift. Yeah, or no, just coaching staff a gift. And then realized he was like, oh, that's your center fielder? Like I didn't realize he was a player. But you know what? He's a likable character too, because you know what? You could see like the sadness in his eyes because he goes, no, I've been around the league a long time. Tell me the truth. Yeah. You're fat, you're old, and you're something you can't run anymore. Or so. And you can see like the pain in Pops' eyes. Like, really? I'm fat?
No, I forgot that he was a player. I thought he was going to be like an assistant manager, like from that. But no, and then we get to the next game. We get the first, really the second clash between Gus and Downtown. Gus wants him to bunt the man over from first. He doesn't listen. Well, first he says, yeah, I'll do it. He goes, you want me to bunt? He's like, all right. And then he hits a bomb. He hits a home run. And then my favorite part is when they're celebrating after the game. So this is AAA Dorn. Rich guy has a private jet. They're eating. He goes, when he's celebrating, he goes, I want some food. Turkey, potato salad, bologna. I want it all. I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, what are they feeding these guys? And it was on is somebody bringing that? Is that an away game? And somebody goes, you know what? Let's pick up the boys some food. Some Subway bologna.
Well, I question that. Like, do minor leagues get food after a game? Like, is it I don't know if their budgets are so small? Like, do they all just go out to McDonald's or something? You know,
is it like sodas after a baseball game? If you win, you go to the snack
they get
stand?
Sodas and they get orange slices.
Oranges.
So that's what they get. So one of the team's wives gives everybody a baggie of orange slices.
Yeah. So then Gus is pissed. He benches Downtown for 3 games. So then, dude, this is the part we kind of mentioned.
Wasn't this a storyline in the first or second one that a coach asked the player to do something? They didn't want to do it. They did their own thing.
I don't think so, because it was
Dorn.
Really
it wasn't
Rick.
Dorn. Nothing happened to Dorn, or maybe
Rick was really the main player that they cared about in the first one. The second one, there wasn't
Willie Mays Hayes.
That.
It wasn't Willie Mays Hayes. Did maybe he didn't do something? It was. I could have sworn this is a recycled thing. Also, that the coach asked the player to do something.
Well, that's sports. What do you mean? That was probably in a million bit movies before this.
Yeah, of course it was, but again, I forget it. It's the third movie.
I think it is Willie Mays Hayes. I don't think it's the first one. I feel like it's with Omar Epps in the second one. I feel like he wanted to become a power hitter. And he goes, you might run like Mays, but you hit shit.
No, that was the first one.
Well, he says the line in both movies, but in the second movie, he turns himself into a power. No, the first movie, he doesn't make the team until spring training. He runs. They take his bed.
But that's a line from the first one. You may play.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But in the second one is when he's like, I'm a power hitter now, coach.
Yep. Well,
so
because he changed his entire look. In the second one.
Yeah. He did something. Some kind of plastic surgery. But no, so then we get one of my favorite parts of the movie, when another doc, when he's talking about, when he goes, so Gus, I was talking to Rube, and he was telling me when he was a kid, a very mean minor league coach yelled at him, and I think that is what his transgressions are about throwing to the pitcher in first, second, and third. Can you take it easy on him? And he goes, sure. And he goes, if another ball goes into the grandstand, you're out of here. And dude,
and he all of a sudden he plays great now. Just that one. Well, not for nothing. When he first meets him and he starts talking about his troubled arm, he goes to him and he goes, well, listen, take a breather. Take a step before you throw it, and then throw it down the line or something like that. And Ruben's like, oh, okay, I'll try that. like no one's ever said anything like that before, and he throws it like so. Like I mean, it's just so stupid. His arc is so stupid, but then all of a sudden now he becomes a great catcher because his job is threatened.
Yeah, and good thing he didn't listen to Doc. If he was calm with him and maybe follow that method, maybe he was just being coddled ever since that young age.
Why is he called Doc? Is he a doctor?
I'm sure he is.
Is he a wannabe doctor?
Backstory.
I like Rube as a character. He's like, like a big baby, like a young, like I don't mean baby that way. I just mean like he's like a young guy. Like he's kind of like he has a baby mindset.
He's like Baby Huey. He is Baby Huey.
But they never show him batting. Like he's a big guy.
Like, he gets one hit. He gets one hit in the final game, but that's it.
He does. I don't even remember.
No, he doesn't get like that huge moment, which is like for his character, it should have been.
Okay.
Yeah,
they weren't. I mean, there weren't. There's only 3 people that really start hitting the ball, and I feel like Tanaka and Serrano have the same exact hit every time they get up there. They have the same line drive hit every time they're up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then in the next scene, this is where Gus is like, oh my gosh, please, God, can you just send me one baseball player or strike me dead? And then he gets hit with the baseball in the back of the head. He drops. And that was the one in the trailer that was just before it said Major League, back to the minors, coming next summer or whatever. And then he wakes up, Pedro Serrano. Why is he there?
Just out of the blue. Well, why? Because he said, God, please send a hitter or a player.
He is friends with God in the second one. I forgot. Yeah.
So, I mean, he changed his ways. There's no more voodoo. Although somehow. Okay. So you're telling. I mean, when I have to bring it up now just because we're talking about Pedro.
Sure.
So you're telling me that somehow Joe Bull, a doll, found its way from the Clevelands to Minnesota in a locker room. His cubby just happened to get there somehow.
Well, Chucky is a doll who bleeds and actually like has sex in one of those movies. So I think Jabu can do that. He doesn't talk. He doesn't move.
Yeah, but at least we've seen Chucky move. I mean, Joe Bull just stands there. He looks like Albert Einstein. Like he's got this hair all over the place, like Albert Einstein.
He looks
hair.
like one of the Puppet Master dolls. If you ever saw like the second or third Puppet Master, we got to do one of those.
No, I never seen any of them.
It looks like that sort of like that kind of face. But I was so teased in that part because I wanted him to use it. I wanted it.
Why? They've used it so many times. It's like, again, it's such a recycle. It was again.
No, in the second one, he says, Jabu, screw you. I'll do it myself.
You know what? Listen, it was a small cameo that did not need to be in there. Instead, they have the stupid hoods. So, I mean, again, to me, there was way too much nonsense between Tanaka and Serrano than anything else. Like, I feel like if you take out some of that stuff, it's a better movie, but it's still not a good. I said better, not a good movie.
Maybe Jabu's family were watching this movie and they're like, oh, "You're in it. You're in it."
Mom, listen, I have one scene. Okay, it's quick, but I am in it. Is it the same doll from the first movie? Like, he looks pretty big.
It
looked a little bigger. You probably can get it on. I'm sure you can get it on eBay.
I want that one.
I think it'll fit perfectly right behind you on your.
Yes,
it really would.
I would love that.
We got.
And he goes,
I was gonna say, if anyone has a Joe Bull doll out there, please let us know where you got it.
Send it. Oh, dude, Twitter at sequels only. I'd love it. So then he goes, I must have been out for a while because it looks like Halloween. What you mean? And then, boom. And then I'm like, again, this is where I write it down. AAA teams wouldn't pick up randoms that like just show up at all. And then we get our first like montage. There's a lot of montages in this movie. First one, then we see the Lopez brothers do a double play. Rube throws the guy out at first base after a bunt. And the Buzz are now in third place. They're buzzing along. And now they're buzzing along the highway. And they see they happen to go past, of all the roads, Tanaka's mini golf course.
Well, it said Taka, right? Did it say?
Well, that's his first name, yeah.
Oh, it's okay, but it says
his name's Taka Tanaka.
Taka Tanaka, but his whole family owns it, right? Because his whole family was saying goodbye to him, right?
Wait,
so
not only were they saying goodbye to him, in seconds they convinced him. He says, "I know happy here." Wait, how hard did you laugh? It reminded me of our Turtles 3 remember when they did like some kind of, remember when the guy spoke in the ancient Japan and you couldn't remember the subtitle? He spoke perfect English, and then later the girl goes, I can't understand you. How about this? When he spoke, you had subtitles. When they spoke, it was Japanese.
Yes, it's a fun. Here's the problem with that. So that is a funny joke. Like that is a really funny joke, but not for this movie. Like that to me, like that's for like a Naked Gun. Like that's for like a spoofy movie. Like to me, for a movie like this, it's such a spoofy kind of thing to do. I felt like it doesn't go. Like it is funny, but it just doesn't. I feel like it doesn't flow with this kind of movie. Yeah. But it was funny, and I mean, I've been to miniature golf before. I've never seen anyone walk around in costumes.
He's passionate, and not even walk around in costumes. Wouldn't they be like, "Hey, I know we have to get back on the road, but go change." He goes, "No, I'm going to dress like a pirate onto your bus."
And I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I know if he owns it, he can hire anyone to dress up. He doesn't speak English, so you're going to have a pirate that just speaks Japanese.
And then they play turning Japanese. I don't know.
Did they really?
They did, for a second.
Oh my goodness!
I think when the bus was taken off, they played probably 7 seconds, so they didn't have to pay for the whole song. But yeah,
different time back then. What can I tell you?
Different time.
Well, I mean, think about what Serrano was wearing. Like some of the garb he wears in this movie. It's like very. Not American, I guess. Like it's very. Yeah. What is it like?
He wears like African. He wears African.
Yeah, but he didn't do that in the second movie. He kind of got rid of all that stuff, and now he's going back.
He went godly.
Okay, so why is he going back to his old roots?
Maybe something happened in between. Going from the Cleveland to Minnesota. Well, what was he doing after Cleveland? Maybe he's had a rough time of it.
Well, did they even explain what he was doing? When not working.
He just showed up. Maybe Dorn called. They could have been like, "Oh, Roger called me and said you need a destination."
Well, he asked God for help. Maybe he was sent from heaven, and he's a ghost, and only Coach could see him.
Could you imagine that?
I don't know. That would have been a better movie.
And he never bats at all.
He never bats.
Can never go to the plate.
It's like we're looking at a Fight Club kind of thing. Like
and Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense. So maybe even Tanaka might not even be there. So he keeps seeing these things. People because they always bat one after another, and they're always hit the same exact hit every single time.
Maybe like this whole movie, Gus is in a coma after he gets hit in the head, and the rest of the movie's not even real.
You know what? Now we're getting
He's
somewhere.
Dead.
Because you think about it, Serrano and Tanaka, except for the catcher, don't interact with anybody. Except themselves. Yeah. The whole movie. And except for the one scene with Brubaker or whatever, but he's an idiot anyway. So, maybe he's the one that's coming up with this and he's talking to himself. Well, we got a whole different movie here. We have a whole different
It's like the movie Identity. He has them in his subconscious. But so then we get Ted, then we cut to, because the teams are winning now. Euchre's going nuts. Everybody's happy. And we cut to Huff, and he's pissed off. The Twins are sucking. He's yelling at all of his team. And now Dorn gets on the horn. He calls Gus and Maggie. He says, "Hey, you got a few days off. Why don't you come up and we'll go, watch a game, and then we'll go out to dinner." How about his painting of himself in the office? In his box.
And she was staring at it. She seemed.
He's a hunky guy.
I was gonna say she seemed a little turned on by it. She did.
Well, end of the movie. I'll mention it now. He does want to join them on their honeymoon.
He does. That's there's something more to that. I think
there's something more to him. Remember how his wife was smoking in the first one,
and she was sleeping with everybody.
Yeah.
So I mean. All right, so I would have liked to seen her come back.
Oh, that would have been a callback you wanted to see her in this movie?
See, I don't know. I feel like that, there should have maybe. She clearly didn't know who Duff was, but I feel like she should have. Like
Duff. You're calling him Duff now? His name's
name?
Huff. Huff.
Duff and Huff, whatever, the same thing.
You're calling him designated ugly friend. That's what you're doing right now.
Wait, that's what Duff stands for?
That's what Duff stands for.
That's lame. All right. Anyway, I feel like she should have been his ex-girlfriend, and that would have explained everything.
That would have been a nice little rivalry because that would have been. Oh wait, no, what? Wait, you're saying that? That would have been the. Well, I guess it's really not the full thing in Major League 2, but in a way, Behringer against the rich guy.
Yeah,
that Renee Russo's with. So I guess it's not the same thing.
It's not because she just met him and they broke up. So it is they have to explain their rivalry for some reason, and he really. It's almost like he's so more into like a rivalry against him than he is against Huff.
Yeah.
Like he almost like he doesn't care about Huff and he just can't deal with him. Bakula, Dude, so
Huff at this point is like when they're out to dinner, he is so delusional because I don't know what their record is. I know at one point they were in last place. I don't know if it was during this part or a later Twins montage, but he goes, "Yeah, you know what, Roger, if I can just get me a short reliever, we'll be good." And then here is I gotta get this little clip here.
This game is about 9 guys working.
The full scene is way too long.
They don't have to be the best 9 guys who ever lived. They just gotta work together.
Gus's montage, man. 9 guys that play together.
That's so sweet. 9 guys working together as one. Come on, everyone. Rah, rah, rah. I love that. I do. I love that.
Oh, he's so annoying.
I love it.
You're just going to have to trust me on this. You don't know what you're talking about.
He plays a dick really well. Like he's
good
at that role.
Always.
Definitely is.
But he went so over the top.
Okay,
he's so over the top. It just
baseball. There's big league. And then
see, he's too over the top.
Little league. And you, my friend, you are in the latter.
That smells a little bit like a challenge.
Well, if you're foolhardy enough to take it as one, yeah.
See, there's history here. They're not explaining.
Any hour, any day, any week.
You can see it.
Guys will be on the field.
Yeah, they don't like each other at all.
Waiter?
And clearly there's a past.
And she is saying, "Waiter, like let's get the check. Let's get out of here."
Same field.
And Doran's not saying anything.
Is there an echo
He's
in this
loving
room?
it.
Let me tell you something. If you had the first
All right, and then we learn the unwritten guy code. If you poke me twice in a fight, he's gonna break out. Is that? I don't remember reading that as a kid. When you get to 12 years old, they give you the guy code catalog. I guess I skipped that page.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Although, I mean, listen, if he's that much in his face, but I mean, he did break his finger right in the beginning of that. I don't know how I don't know how he threw a punch after that because he literally like you see him crack his finger.
Yeah.
So, we questioned these players that were on the little league team, but why is he still a coach? Clearly, he's not a good coach. His team doesn't respect him because they spit on his shoe multiple times in this, in this movie.
Yeah,
so, like, why is he still coaching? Like, why does Doran still have him as a coach? He should have been fired a long time ago.
Yeah, no, again, I don't know why he keeps him around. Obviously, he's the owner, and he's in this position, obviously, that he likes Gus a lot. So, which Gus, I don't know what a AAA manager makes, but Gus makes a dumb decision at the end, I think.
Yeah,
For
you
me?
You think? Listen, there's a point when he's almost like he's treating this one season as like a little league season, and we're not there yet. We'll get there. So, but yeah, like I don't know why he's coaching. Like he really he doesn't show any skill whatsoever. He relies on his heavy hitters, and that's all he does. Like he doesn't. Not once do they show you any kind of coaching plan outside of shutting lights off. Like he doesn't have any plan on any game. At least with Bakula, you could constantly saying, all right, bunt here, do this, do that, shift over. You see that in every other movie. You see the coaching decisions. There's not one coaching decision he makes outside of the lights.
Yeah, he just has the lights and Carlos Liston. No one else, really.
That's it.
He does nothing else except he's happy with them when they're doing good, and then when they're not doing good, he hates them. That's the two speeds that he has.
Yeah, but they clearly hate him. Like I said, they spit on his shoe multiple times. So.
Everybody hates him. How about the next morning when he gets the phone call? Roger goes, "Hey, I want to meet you. Come have breakfast with me. I want to talk to you about something." And when he first walks in, isn't it like everybody's scared of him? All the other people eating are like, "Whoa, this guy's back." But then they all start cheering for him. And even the waiter goes, "Hey, the entire wait staff's rooting for the Buzz." And it's like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Yeah, I called the local papers. We're going to make it happen. You guys are going to play." And he's like, "What, are you kidding me?"
See, I feel like some of this movie is very Disney-like. I mean, like, just, it's a feel-good movie. The good guy wins left and right in this movie. Like, really, like,
right?
He's literally a winner. Like there's, he doesn't lose. At least, like, Berenger loses the girl or whatever. Like, there was nothing of, like, he wins everything he did. Both games, like, it wasn't a rocky comeback. He literally was, like, crushing it and well respected, and everybody was cheering on him. It was a Disney movie. Like, part of this was a Disney movie.
Well, it wasn't Rocky. It's exactly Rocky. Because I think first game, tie. Second game.
Well, was it a tie?
Well, yeah, it was a tie. He turned the lights off when it was tied.
Yeah, but they were about to win.
No, it was the opposite. The Buzz were still pitching, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, were they? Oh, yes, he was. Yeah, okay, but they were.
So he didn't want them to get the chance to bat in the extra.
Right, that's what I mean.
So
right,
that's why he did it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because Liston was at the plate, so he didn't have confidence in his guy.
With the junk ball guy, with Doc.
With Doc throwing 50. Yeah.
No, not 50. At least 49, because it doesn't register 50. So.
It does not register that. So we get the actual, like, the game's going to happen. So then when in seconds, you get the buses outside the Metrodome. And we kind of talked about this game a lot already, but dude, it's so cool. Like, I think you talked about it before, the opposites of these two guys. Like, they are the polar opposites, McGinley and Bakula, the way they like to attack their roles. Like, I think perfectly polar opposite. And I think that's why McGinley went so over the top, because Bakula was so calm and cool.
He couldn't get under his skin. So that's what it was probably bothering him more than anything. I just think he realizes that, like, Bakula is much better than that McGinley keeps portraying him as. So he's actually changed his team to a good team, and he realizes that he's a better person than him. I mean, clearly. Yeah. So I think that's what it was. And you could start seeing, like, I think the restaurant is what started it, the unhinging, and it's from the rest of the movie. He's slowly becoming psychotic.
Well, he's super psychotic because when I think it's Lance the Dance makes an error at third base on, like, a routine play, the Twins score, he starts dancing, Huff, and then he looks at the one extra, and I swear this had to be improv. I think all of his dugout things were improv, because he looks at the one extra and he goes, "Hey, say hi to your mother for me." And the guy giggled and he mouthed, "Say hi to your mother." So funny.
Yeah. You know what? I could see a lot of his dugout interaction totally being improv, because, I mean, it was just so, like, him spitting and talking with all the seeds. Like, it looked like he had a whole bag of seeds in his mouth when he's coaching.
Great.
It's ridiculous.
Great. So then we're talking about Carlos Liston. We talked about him a bunch, but he is just like Jack Parkman. There's really no guys. And I love baseball, and I know this would never happen, like having these guys that are like professional wrestlers almost in the sport. But man, a guy like Carlos Liston, or the closest guy, like when I think about his comparison, like Albert Bell, like the way he swung and everything, and just his attitude and the way he talked in third person, like The Rock, like, that was so funny. Nobody throws close to Carlos Liston.
But the umps are gonna allow him to walk to the mound and like not even like attempt, like, even though he wasn't ready to fight yet, the fact that he was gonna walk to the mound and just clearly, that's ridiculous. And I love the fact, and I like the fact that, like, the pitcher is sweating because they tell him to throw inside. And he's like the fear is in his head so bad. It was so funny. But you know what?
There must have been some dew, some moisture, and Liston's like, "Some dew? Yeah, some dew."
So stupid.
And then we get the CGI curveball that comes in and knock. I bet you if we watch that, if we go back to 97 and you and I watch that, I bet you that probably looked good.
Oh, probably look great, but
yeah,
it looks so. It is amazing how that works, right? You see it the first time, and it's like amazing, and then you watch it now, it's like that is the most ridiculous. Like they couldn't do it real. Like why couldn't they do it real?
I don't know. The first two movies, I don't remember any of that stuff.
No, I don't either.
They were really smashing the ball. I guess because they wanted to show that trajectory in the first two movies. If you remember, they only showed hits at the bat,
right?
And then they show it go over the wall. They didn't show that. So I think they wanted to get that perfect angle, I guess. I don't know.
I guess, but I mean, like, that's where your money's going for the budget. There's other areas they could have done, So, no, it was bad. That was a bad, so clearly.
We're getting real major league. I was thinking of this before, like, for baseball to get a younger generation of, like, watchers and players, just think of the movie Little Giants. And the people in that movie, John Madden, LT, Emmett Smith, the list goes on and on. Howie Long, Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Why not do a baseball movie like that now? Because even those baseball movies from that era, they didn't have real players.
Yeah.
Right now, dude, do one with all the big names right now. That'd be awesome.
No, and listen, they do it with basketball. I mean, they've done Space Jam,
Twice. Yes.
The second one, I mean, the first one, when you see those guys out there and the first Space Jam, I mean, it was great. The way they played together, it was so like they easily could do that with And then listen, there's no ending. They could do it with tennis.
Hey, it's Pete Sampras. And it's like, who's Pete Sampras?
Wait, are you saying people don't watch tennis?
Oh, we just lost the two tennis watchers.
Yikes.
I love Pete Sampras' wife.
Who's his wife?
Vicky. What's from Billy Madison? His girl in Billy Madison.
Vicky Vaughn.
Vicky Vaughn. Veronica Vaughn.
Oh, Veronica
Vaughn. His wife in real life.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah.
Okay. All right.
She makes a cameo. I'm down for a tennis movie.
Yikes. All right.
I love you, honey, if you're listening.
Oh, so you don't want Anna Kournikova? Wasn't she a tennis player?
She was a tennis. See, you don't know much about tennis.
At least I brought a tennis player in. You're bringing a tennis player's wife into the tennis movie.
Now, Agassi, Blake, Roddick.
Jen Capriati. Jen Capriati. She was a tennis player. Venus and Serena. So, you mentioned the tennis player's wife for a movie. I'm mentioning players. Are they called players?
And I just mentioned Andy Roddick's wife, who's Brooklyn Decker.
Oh, but are they considered players?
Yeah.
Or athletes? You're a tennis player?
Well, I don't know what you call them, but what do you
that's what I mean.
Player?
Well, you call a baseball player, football player, hockey player. Is it a tennis player?
Tennis guy. Tennis.
Why is it? Oh, man, you're digging. So, but okay, I don't think it's a player. I'm just, doesn't sound right.
What do you call them?
Well, you call a golf player?
Golfer. Tennis.
Golfer. Why is tennis have to be so difficult? Why does it have to be so difficult, tennis?
Yeah, come on, guys.
I mean, it's bad enough that it's bad enough that no one really watches tennis, but now you got to make it difficult.
They switched off. Say whatever you want about tennis now. They're not. So then we got Euchre and the guy that's the Minnesota Twins announcer looks like he's from the South. He looks like he's from Alabama, like Colonel Sanders, Bear Bryant. Like, look at a guy like that. And I love when Euchre purposely knocks the drink all over him and he goes, "Here's $20. Go get yourself another suit."
Their interaction, like, you could tell this guy hates Euchre the minute he says his first word. Like, the disgust on this guy's face, just hearing Euchre is like, he's like, I can't believe this guy's an announcer. That's what's going through his mind. And then just their rivalry, the rest of the movie is great.
Oh, yeah. So then Downtown comes up. He hits a bomb to tie it. McGinley, Huff is so pissed off, throws the ball off the wall, knocks himself out.
So stupid.
And now we get Liston's up again. They bring in Doc. And I love that they play like the slow saxophone music. So slow.
And you know what's funny? Like, Doc is so oblivious of how bad of a pitcher he is. Like, he walks out there like with no care in the world. Like, he thinks he's a major league baseball player.
Yeah, he thinks that. I don't know why, but he thinks that.
Well, he almost strikes him out. He almost strikes him.
Oh, I know. He had to go because the pitch was coming down. The 2-strike pitch was coming down, and he kills the lights. Which,
well, you would think, though. I mean, knowing that this guy's only throwing 2 really slow junk balls, that he'll be able to time the third one.
I would hope so.
You would think.
Carlos Liston can do that, right?
I would hope so, but we're never going to know because someone made a phone call to. Is that how it works?
Kill him. Is there a guy on the other end of that phone?
I was going to say,
does the manager of the does Aaron Boone know the number of the electrical guy?
And is there a guy just sitting there waiting to pull the switch? Like, it's just, all right, here's the call, we got it, and then it shuts off every lights with one switch.
Yeah,
one switch, and pitch black. Like it's I even like at nighttime if the lights aren't on yet, you can still see. I mean,
well, that's a dome, so that does make sense. It's a dome.
Okay,
that was a dome that they used to have.
Okay, if it's going to be that dark in a dome with all the lights off, like that, they couldn't see anything.
There's no light.
Okay, you're good. There's no windows or anything outside.
No, there's no windows.
There's no windows anywhere. So you're telling me
somebody's office or something.
Okay, so how did the 50,000 people that were at the game, how'd they leave if it was pitch black?
It was chaos. It was chaotic.
Okay.
The beer ushers got knocked over. The popcorn guy, he'll never forget that night.
All right. I'll buy the fact that it's pitch black like that you cannot see the person in front of you, but I don't think one switch shuts off every single light in the entire dome. One switch.
I hope there's like a backup one that you have to do just in case, because that could be like an accident. Whenever a guy leans back into it or falls and trips, drops something, knocks it over. No.
I would also assume there would be a firing. Like, there's going to be an investigation. Why do we have a power outage? They realize there wasn't. They're going to find out it's some poor schlep who's just his only job is to control the lights, and it's going to go back to the manager. I think there's going to be a whole process.
If he would get canned, there'd be like a whole ESPN 30 for 30 on it.
Okay.
The light switch.
Okay.
It'd be like a whole Netflix documentary, 8-part series. But no, that guy would lose his job. Yeah, in seconds.
And I don't think it would take much for him to just who gave you the orders. I don't think they have to torture him to get the answers right. I think he's gonna spill it in 2 seconds.
Oh, I would. So then we cut to Gus and Doran. They're at the bar. Did you notice something about them at the bar? They were wearing the same outfit.
Were they really?
The same suit, the same undershirt. It was so bizarre.
The budget was small. That's it.
But do you remember where they were, right? Right after a game, the game probably was, it looked like I'm sure maybe it was a night game or something. And then remind you, it's in the middle of the season that they're doing all this. The bar that they were at was a country bar in Minnesota. The girls at the bar that Hogg was sitting on seemed like they were from Alabama.
Wait, you can't have country bars around the country?
You can have country bars wherever you want, but the people in there don't have to dress country on a Tuesday night.
Well, maybe it was country night. Tuesday night is country night at the bar.
And then this is a perfect part. Not only is there a country bar in Minnesota, now we get Tanaka and Serrano singing Oye Como Va, and Doran's dancing, and then he falls.
So wait, so they were, you know what? I wasn't even thinking about a country bar before. So they were singing Santana. So you have a voodoo doctor, a Japanese guy who doesn't speak English, singing a Spanish song at a country bar.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm sure
this looked like the bar that Gus met Doran at, but I'm like, where is this minor league team? Like, they're usually not in the same state. For the most part, they're usually in somewhere else.
So maybe they're down south.
But they took a bus there that fast that they were drinking that night. So that means they had to be in Minnesota at a country bar. They filmed it in South Carolina.
Okay.
Doesn't mean much to the story.
No, it doesn't help.
Close, but they were close. They must have been close enough that they're like, we'll take a bus there.
Yeah, okay, but South Carolina isn't country either. I mean, it's more country than Minnesota, but that's.
I love you, South Carolina, but you're a little country.
You are, and like I said, I mean, if it was a true country bar and you have all like true country people at the bar, they're gonna absolutely hate that karaoke.
Oh, they'll go kill the power.
They you would think they would be like, what do they have like in those movies that they have like the fencing up, the wire fencing, and people throwing bottles at the fence.
Yeah, like at the Double Deuce in Roadhouse. Oh my gosh. So then this is where he goes, Dorn says, people are loving downtown. They think he's ready. Who says that? Huff. He goes, well, he's not ready. But he's like, well, the Huff, the major league manager, Twins manager said he's ready. So boom, he goes up. They have a weird thing. How about that, dude? When they're outside the bus and he's wearing the Twins hat. So they must still be there because he's outside the facility with the
bus
Twins
is there.
hat on.
And the bus is there. The bus is still there. Yeah. Yeah.
And he goes, his final line, he goes, I don't think you're ready yet. And he goes, how would I think that you would give me advice? I have more ounce of talent in my finger than you ever had in your whole career. And then he goes, thanks for nothing.
He literally, and he goes, you're jealous and all that stuff. I mean, he really tore him down. I mean, and you know what? In true, Bakula fashion, he was calm. He was still laid back, and he's like, he really is like, as I was watching the movie, and I wrote it down. He's just a nice guy. He comes across like a really nice guy.
Does he ever yell in anything?
No, he plays the same. Like this is the same role, like his same demeanor and same role that he was in Necessary Roughness. Now I didn't watch
Quantum Leap.
I didn't watch Quantum Leap.
Oh, that's a cool show.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't think he does. I bet you he's like this in real life. I bet he's just like a laid back, like.
Well, Ron Schmidt, who worked with him on NCIS, he said one of the coolest guys. So
I believe it.
So then now the Buzz are losing. They lost 7 of 8. And Hogg says, Coach, we can't win without downtown. And then Gus does that great speech. It's about a team. It's not about one home run hitter.
Okay, hold on. But we're talking about one step away from major league. And they're like worried about one player. Like it's such a little league kind of mentality that they have. Like it's just so stupid. Like, cause you know what? I would assume most players, first of all, most players don't care about winning or losing. I think in minor leagues, they would be like, you know what? Good. Let's get rid of him. So now someone else can step in and shine. Like, I don't think they would really care if he left. Like that's,
yeah, but on this team, who comes up, Tanaka gets that spot, not a young 19-year-old kid that's budding to go to the majors. No, this 45-year-old mini golf franchise.
Well, you know what? If the video show anything, he hasn't missed one hit. I mean, he got a hit every single time he was up.
He's perfect.
So I think he was like 4 for 4. So,
well, remember in the second one, he did run through a wall and catch the ball through the walls.
That is true.
And he climbed a wall too. So he did those two things all in one movie.
See again, he was a great character when he first came in the movie. In this movie, he was just it was like a clown character of his character.
Yeah,
it just didn't fit. It didn't fit.
Now that's what they do in sequels. We've seen it so many times in that the second or third or fourth time you see somebody, they become a caricature of themselves.
But that's the problem. They take a side character and bring them further and make a side character of that character, and it just doesn't go. Like again, it just, you know what? Maybe if Wesley Snipes was in the second one and you kept him, fine. But like, I don't know. Some of these guys, like again, I feel like Serrano was great in the first two, and then just like he wasn't a character you really needed anymore.
I wonder who else they tried to get back in this one. If they like asked Omar Epps, because he kind of blew up after the second one.
He did.
That's when he had like The Program, Love and Basketball, and then also Scream 2 came out the same year. So
no, he made tons of. But you know what though? If he came back, I don't think it would have made a difference because I still look at Wesley Snipes as as the character.
Yeah, I know. I'm
I
just
don't
saying
see
Wesley
Omar.
Snipes in 97 is not coming in this.
No,
Blade's
he-
coming out 98, so.
Oh, I thought he was in prison already.
No. That's recent, man.
Oh, he recently got out. Wasn't he away
Yeah,
for
he
like...
wasn't in prison for a long time.
I thought he was. Wasn't he in there for like 10 years?
It was tax evasion. You're not going away for 10 years for not paying your taxes. He's had some country club prison for a little bit with Martha Stewart. Not anything too crazy.
Okay.
So then we, one of the teachable moments that Gus does, he goes, here's how we can win. Each of us have knowledge. How about we just try to teach maybe the player next to us something? And it's like a big part of the whole movie because what do we get on the team bus? We get Doc teaching because, again, this kid's in AAA. He's their ace pitcher. He only throws a fastball. He doesn't even know how to throw a changeup. So he throws one pitch. Now he's learned the curveball.
How does Doc throws 49 miles an hour? How does he know a curveball?
Well, his curveball's 42.
Like, is it possible to do a curveball that slow?
Yeah, I think so, I guess.
And yeah, but see, now this is also where the hoods come in, which I hated this whole part. So
I didn't
stupid.
like that at all. No.
No, it was such a filler. Like, it was just not necessary. So
And then, because Gus does still care, even though what's name gave him the business, he still cares. He has a little TV in the dugout that's covered by like a towel, and he's looking at downtown's at bats, striking out a lot.
well, he knew.
Gotta push
He
hitter.
knew. He knew. He knew.
Yep.
He knew. He knew. But you know what?
And now
Though?
what's happening? Yeah.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying right now everything works. They started helping each other out. They won 7 in the last 10. I think they're back in first place. And who's waiting in the room in his office? Downtown.
But see this is what I was about to say. So now things are clicking without him. I almost wouldn't want him on the team again.
Ooh.
Well, you had to adjust your playing style, losing your best player. Now you're going to bring him back in there. Oh, this sounds like the Knicks. It does sound like the Knicks. So, you have to adjust your playing time based on the best player not being there. So now you have to readjust your playing the way you play because your best player is back. And who's to say that he's not going to leave again? In 2 seconds. Like, the team is gelling. Sometimes when you mix with a team that's gelling, the Knicks.
Well, baseball's different. Baseball's a totally different sport. It's very individual.
It is. But at the same time, I mean, look, they fell apart when he left. So, I mean,
They didn't have that confidence until Gus gave that speech. And what does Gus do? He doesn't say, I told you so. He's like, I'm here to help you.
no, it was a nice little moment. And, it's funny. When he started teaching him and helping him, there were moments when I thought he was going back to his old ways when he was getting annoyed at him. And then you can see. But, like, I feel like, first of all, again, I want to see how old he was in this movie. Because he didn't. What's his face?
Goggins?
Like, do you think he was young? I mean, he looked young.
I think he was young. He just looks older. No, because you had to think, this is 97. You think he's 55, 60 now? No.
I don't know. You don't think so? He's been around a long time.
You think he's 55? Well, I'll take a look. But
Okay.
so then we'll get into the next part while I look that up. So then we get the team training. Everybody's helping each other out. You get Lance the dance. He's getting everybody to stretch up. And,
See, I feel like they overdid that character too a little bit. Like it's funny.
like Lance the dance.
It's funny at some moments, and it's definitely funny what he does at the end of the movie. But it just, again, there was like just two, like the guys are gonna do ballerina. All the guys are gonna be doing ballerina on the field when they're practicing, like stuff. Like, I mean, I don't know.
He's from Alabama. He was born in 71.
Oh, okay.
He's
So
51 years old?
He's 51.
So when this movie came out, he was 26 years old.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
So he always looked older.
He always looked older. All right.
You think in Next Karate Kid, he's like, honestly, like usually high school kids are played by people in their mid-20s anyway. So he was like 23 probably when that was filmed. So
Okay.
pretty good.
Fair enough.
So then we get Downtown's listening. He's driving the ball to right field. and it's working. And here's a scene that I couldn't wait to show you. So after everything's gelling with the team, we get this. I don't even know. This guy's the biggest asshole I've ever seen. The local news reporter.
Oh,
Like, I don't even know what he was. Let me get this going. Wait. When he comes up and he is, I can always add it later, but the fact that he is like basically talking shit to him, and I'm like, where would this guy be? He's a local news guy.
You know, we've seen this a few times in movies where the news people become very aggressive, you know, to like the everyday people. Like, it's one thing if they do like those shames and they're trying to, you know, get someone to talk. You know, it's fine. You be aggressive there. But on like a regular person, like, Bakula is he's a coach. He's a regular guy. He's done nothing wrong. And just the attitude that the news guy gives him, we've seen it so many times. It's ridiculous. Like in Rocky 5, you owe us an explanation. You know, they're always aggressive for people that they should never be. So like, I don't know how they have their job.
But what a dick. And then I love Bakula. The perfect timing of it was Huff was in the office with Dorn at the same time. And this is where he reissued the challenge. And he goes, I think he did something with the lights. And I'd play them again. And I even put my 1 year set, which I don't know what he makes.
I was going to say, how much money could that really be? And Dorn is like loaded. I could see Dorn just giving him money anyway. But like, yeah, I don't think that was too enticing. I just think, and I don't think that really is what enticed him to do it. It was just that he had no choice but to accept it. Yeah,
the fact that he knew that every station in America would pick this up. I'm like, what? This local?
It's a local
station, 13, dick. But the balls on that guy actually, I'm gonna go back and put that in. But man, the fact that he says what he does to like basically just tell this guy like, hey, you know what? Well, what about your team? You know, you guys only tied him. It's like, dude, they're a major league team. We're a bunch of schlubs.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Right. How about the fact that they did tie a major league team? Like, it's like, you know, like, exactly. How about like, let's make this a positive news thing. No, let's just crank down harder. I mean, just so stupid.
But he does put in the challenge. That's great. If I win, then I get the job as the Twins manager. So he was thinking about it then. So then we'll talk about at the end of the movie what happens. Obviously, it's a feel-good story. You can kind of guess what happens. But one thing I didn't think about until you mentioned it before, but we'll get to that in a few because we're at the final game. Like, that's what's good about these like sport movies, that they do sort of move quick, and like there's only like when this part started, there was like 25 minutes left, and I'm like, is this the final game?
Yeah, it does move pretty fast. I was surprised too, because you told me it was like an hour and 35 minutes, something
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, it does move because again, it's a lot of action. You know what? I didn't have a lot of notes in this movie because there was a lot of baseball playing. So it was like, you know, I thought his bet was going to be, if I win, my team switches places with your team. Your team goes to the minor leagues. Listen, if they beat him, why not? If they beat him, they should be up there.
Yeah,
but I thought that was going to be, and then he would end up being coach, and that all works out. So that's a good ending. So, you know, yeah.
But I do love his speech, because in all these movies they have great speeches. You got the manager in the first one; his speech is great, and then you get the old win one for the Gipper. Don't give him one of those win one for the Gipper. And he goes, "Well, Lou, he's not doing so good." Tom Berenger's speech. And this one, his speech is so great because he's like, I can come out here and say, let's win it for you guys, and you guys can do this. I'm going to be completely honest. Win it for me. If you guys do good, I win and I become the Twins manager. And he's smirking and smiling, and everybody's feeling. Dude, he's so great in this movie.
It was the first time he did something for himself. He asked for something. Like, he hasn't asked for anything this whole movie. So, I mean, no, that was a good speech. He was honest with those guys. Like I said, he's like their dad. He's been honest with them from the beginning. So, yeah. But I think that would have been cool if the bet would have been, we have a chance to be in the major leagues and knock those guys down.
No, I like that. I like that a lot. And he right away, he's with the mind games with Huff. He goes, hey, Huff, before we start the game, the guys over there, they're telling me they really think you have a toupee.
See, he acts like he's like 12 because he believes everything. He has tantrums. Like his character. That's why his character's so annoying. He acts like a 5-year-old. And yeah, They had to do this to show how unhinged he's the rest of the movie because he looks even crazier with his hair going nuts. Yeah, and you hear the audience like laughing at him, like, but why would they be laughing? They heard the conversation.
Yeah,
like you literally hear the whole audience laughing at him.
Well, it is a really small place, and there's probably not a ton. I do love that that was another thing I thought was cool, that he said it's going to be at our place. I thought that was neat too.
Well, no shenanigans.
No, yes, no killing the lights.
I don't think they have lights there. They probably don't even have lights there. So he felt safe.
Yeah, we only play day games here. We can't afford lights. Dorn gives us baloney as a victory. I don't think we can.
I think they do because wasn't the catcher using a lot of mayo or something like that when he was before the
yeah, way too much. God. So then we get first match. So Hoggett. So here it is. This is I know you can't change the movie now because we're at the last game, but we know 2 pitchers, no relief pitchers. It's really Doc is a starter and Hogg is their ace.
But is Doc a starter? Because we haven't seen him do anything.
We haven't seen him start, but I'm guessing he is because he's the only other pitcher, and they won 7 and 10. And I don't think.
Wait, you think Doc pitching? Okay, you think Doc pitching is going to win any games?
Who else is on there? Where's Shoop?
Listen, he's an animal. Our pitcher, he pitches every game. Hogg's an animal. Hogg is an animal.
He isn't it? Yeah, Hogg is an animal. And he has his fans that have the hog noses and their fat bellies and they're rubbing each other.
Well, I thought Randy Quaid, it would be Quaid, right? Randy Quaid, wasn't he in the first one? But he was like one of the...
He's in the first two.
First two. So that would have been funny if he was back also, just a little throwback. See, that's a funny cameo.
Oh, you would have liked that one.
Well, yeah. Jobu, no. Randy Quaid, yes.
Randy Quaid. I like a little Randy Quaid action figure behind me too. That'd be good. A little bobblehead of him.
Yeah.
So then we get
only Randy Quaid today, though. The way he looks today, like that's the bobblehead. You just...
of course.
That and Gary Busey. You need that in a Gary Busey box.
Yes.
Can you make bobbleheads of like? I bet you could. I bet you could. That would a Gary Busey bobblehead doll
now
would be amazing. That'd be awesome.
You have to pay extra for all his teeth.
I'll say that's nightmare fuel.
That is nightmare fuel. So then we get the first time Hogg is pitching to Carlos Liston. He uses the curveball, and then Carlos, boom, he hits it out. And then we get Twins are up 3-0 already. And this is weird. They really they don't show the runs because they show that they're up 3-0, then don't show a hit. And then we cut to Downtown hitting a double down the line. And on the board, it's 4-0, and then it's 4-2. And I'm like, what the hell's going on right now? Like, why are they not showing some of these like hits?
Yeah, I know. And, the whole Downtown thing, I understand what he was trying to do, but at the same time is they also took his bat out of his hands. Like he's just hitting like line drives now. He's hitting, he's pulling the ball. Yeah, I know, but unless he needed permission, let's put it that way, to do what he used to do, kind of thing. And I feel like, yes, you got to learn the other side of hitting, but don't take away what you're good at. Like it seems like he's only aiming for the doubles now.
Well, he's just doing what they were doing in the majors, was pitching on the outside, and you can't pull the outside pitch.
No, I know.
That's what it's called, and pop up.
All right. No, I know, but
that opens up the plate for him because, dude, I love the end of it, which we'll get to. Really, because it's pretty quick. Oh, I don't like the whole at bat. I like Bakula.
Oh, yeah.
Because it goes back to his speech of what he says in his speech about it just went in for me.
You know what? The ending would have been better if they didn't already do it in the first movie. So I think what happens in the first movie would have fit better. Would have fit great. What happened here?
Oh, I know what you mean.
And we'll talk about it when we get there. But
yeah. So then we really just get so we have Lance. He has cheerleaders. He gets a hit. It's the top of the ninth. It's 4-3 Twins. And then Huff at this point is talking so much shit. Like, it's insane that shit that he's talking.
Yeah, but I don't think he realizes what he's saying at this point. Because his hair seems to be getting worse. His hair is all over the place, and I just feel like he's in such panic mode that I don't even think he just knows what's going on right now.
Yeah, because just before this is what I wanted to talk about like earlier, it was like the 4th inning or the 5th inning, and then we cut to the top of the 9th, and I'm like, holy shit. They cut to, and Hog's still in the game?
Yeah, I know.
It's the top of the 9th in a game for Bakula that is so important. He must have no other pitchers.
He doesn't.
There must
That's the
be
thing.
no other ones.
And, you know, they didn't show any kind of like back and forth of like, all right, now they're winning, they're losing. Like there was no, so there, to me, there was no excitement. Like there was like, you know, like on your edge of your seat, like this is the big game. And it was really like, all right, we're catching up and then we're going to win. Like there wasn't that Rocky moment of like, you know, getting hit a few times and then coming back. It was a blah like last game, I thought.
Yeah, no, I hated I only liked what Bakula says.
Right.
But anyway, we get the whole exchange between Hog and because Carlos hits 2 bomb home runs that are foul. You know, Gus comes in and he goes, hey, if you want to walk him, you can walk him. And he goes, no, I want Carlos Liston. I think it's time for a little chin music.
But see, his face of nervousness was clear as day when he hit those 2 foul balls. So what made him get all tough within that walk to the mound? Because he clearly became a different pitcher just when he says, do you want to walk him? And then all of a sudden he's like, no, I want to take him. He's been running from this guy.
I know. Maybe it was like being questioned about like, hey, you can walk him if you want, like challenging his manhood. But I love his strategy. And he goes to Ruby, he goes, you get the ball back to me as quick as possible. And then he used like probably something that Doc taught him about a baseball. I have this because when he throws inside, it's not even that close to him, but he gets pissed. He runs out. He has the ball and he holds it up. And he goes, I can throw 100-mile-an-hour fastball from this place. I can take your head clean off. And Carlos Liston was like, all right, you're right.
But how come he didn't think about that when he's walking off the mound and going into the dugout and he drops the ball? Like I honestly thought that the minute he drops the ball and he starts walking, like the guy would come out of the dugout and like tackle him. And it would have been like a little brawl, you know, like something, you know, because they could have had a brawl. I think they brawled in other movies, right? Didn't they brawl?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that didn't happen.
No, they fought in other movies, yeah.
Right. So they kind of took, like, I feel like once he struck him out, his character was done. He's like, you don't hear about it. Like it would have been funny, like, I think if he goes, all right, and he forgot about the fact that he dropped his ball because his weapon was the ball when he, you know, and then he comes out chasing him and he ends up running, you know, climbing a wall like he was told to do or something.
Yeah. Well, the first one, they all fight each other. Dorn fights Vaughn on the field.
The brothers fight in this movie.
They do fight. Yeah. So they have fights in all the movies.
Okay.
So now we get, dude, I love, how about when Tanaka walks Serrano up to the plate at the same time when he gets the hit to tie it? Or no, he just hits a single to get on base. Euchre is wearing the sheet in the booth calling the game.
Well, the guy goes, don't tell me you could see through there. And he's like, yes, Tanaka takes 2 strikes. Like he's doing a play-by-play with the hood on his head.
Yeah.
So stupid. So dumb.
And then you get downtown learning to be a team player. He goes to Gus. He goes, what do you want me to do? You want me to bunt him over? He goes, no. I want you to go downtown.
Yep. You know, this is why I didn't like it. I think the ending would have been better if he was told to do that, because it's obviously a crazy thing to tell someone to do at a game like this, but he ended up bunting because he knows that was the right thing to do. And that he made the choice to bunt, not being told to bunt. You know, he officially became a team player, and because they used that in the first movie, he couldn't do that. But I think it would have fit perfectly with this arc.
Yeah, and no slow mo in this movie.
Nothing.
You know what pissed me off too about the last at bat? Obviously, he's swinging for the fences, so he goes down 0-2, but nothing else after that. Like it's 0-2. Maybe you get like a close strike that they call a ball. No, it's 0-2. You're a major league pitcher. Let me throw it right down the middle.
Yeah, and there was. That's what I mean. There was no like excitement. There was no hype. There was no
they didn't draw it out. There was nothing.
And then the movie ends. It was like
No, right from there we cut to Huff. He's having a little nervous breakdown. He goes, "I'm not a Yankee or a Red Sox. I'm a damn buzz, a bumblebee." And then you said this earlier. So he spits all over. All the players are spitting on him at this point. And then I'm like, man, he's going to have to be the manager here now. But then when Gus in the next, like a minute later, turns down the job, he goes, I want to be at the AAA level. That guy's still going to have that job. You can't have him be the major league manager.
I know.
They don't respect him anymore.
Yeah. See, I would have thought that Gus would have taken the job because now he could bring up the players he feels that he could train at the.
Who's he going to bring up? He bring up downtown. You're not going to bring up a 45-year-old Pop or Doc or Hog who has 2 pitches or the Lopez brothers.
Why not? They just beat a major league team.
They did, but the Twins suck.
Okay. No, I don't know. I don't think
or
you
if
would.
they take the team over, do like a mid-credit scene, and whose buddies on the back of the bus? Carlos Liston and Hog, and Carlos Liston goes, "Cool, dude," or something like that. You know?
And what's his face? I was gonna say Buzz.
Huff.
Huff. He's like the water boy.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like, he's like, or something like he's just doing degrading some kind of like, role for him. And that'd be perfect. Like he's like in Back to the Future, he's like washing the car.
Oh yeah. He's washing the car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Biff.
See, that would have been a good little ending for him.
But yeah, so he turns down this job that probably pays. I don't know what managers are making back then. Nowadays it's over like
okay, but it's
$2 million.
making way more than he was making in
I know.
minor leagues. So yeah, I don't know. And does she work?
She owns that bar.
Okay.
So she has money.
Okay.
So I guess he's set, maybe? I don't know what he's doing. But so he loves doing that. And then they go, we're going down to Miami. We catch our plane. And he's like, plane? What do you mean? He goes, we're going on our honeymoon. And then the last line of the movie goes, he's like, hey, do you mind if I join you? I'm like, is this guy a swinger?
But, and are they married? I thought they were engaged.
They were engaged, so I guess maybe how are they on their honeymoon? That's not how it works.
Were they definitely engaged too? I thought they were.
Yeah, they said they were engaged for like they've been together 6 years, but I think he said they were engaged. Yeah.
See, I didn't hear that part. Okay. All right.
So that was Major League Back to the Minors. I'm so happy that we got to cover a baseball movie for baseball season. So maybe next year we'll do like Angels in the Outfield 2 or one of those.
Sandlot 2.
Sandlot 2, one of those. But we got to go to Jamie. Did I do any convincing to maybe recommend this movie?
I'm going to say no. Absolutely not. I really, no, I didn't, like I said, there was no excitement for the games. It was Bad News Bears for adults, Disney version with just silliness. And I did not find it enjoyable. And again, I don't want to say, I'm not comparing it to the first two because even if it was just a standalone baseball movie, I still would have felt the same way. Like I said, there was no excitement. I thought Duff was, I keep calling him Duff. Huff was so over the top, playing crazy that he came across stupid, and he's done better in other roles. Like he's always plays that guy, but in this movie, he tried to play it so over the top that it just felt stupid. I felt stupid watching it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you'll recommend it.
Oh, because it's a touchdown movie. Honestly, I would say watch it not even for the over the topness, the comedic of Ted McGinley, because I think he's really funny in the movie, like he's over the top. But I really, truly, truly love Scott Bakula's portrayal of the character. I think it is like so good. Like I wish everything else was a little bit better. I wish the final game was better because I thought his performance in a movie like this was great.
So you think people should watch it just because Scott Bakula's a nice guy?
He's great in this movie. He's great.
He's playing a nice guy. I mean, he is a nice guy. He's playing a nice guy, but to spend an hour and 37 minutes to watch Scott Bakula play himself, I don't know if it's worth it.
Do it.
Don't do it.
So that's it. And then, so that's Major League 3, Major League Back to the Minors. And the next sequel, I actually did a Twitter poll because I kind of wanted Jamie to watch this movie called Max 2. the White House hero, but nobody voted for it. Only like 3 people.
Shocker.
So that would have been awesome. But now they wanted to go with The Predator, the sequel. I don't know where it goes along the lines of the movies.
I've never seen it.
I know I haven't seen it either, but I know the cast is pretty good. Speaking of like Papert, who worked on Key and Peele, Keegan-Michael Key's in the movie. Thomas, God, what the heck's his name from Deep Blue Sea? He was on Hung. I can't think of his name. Olivia Munn is in this movie. So there's a bunch of people in this movie. And next week's guest, actor, not even just his acting roles of Gary Chalks, but his voice credits are unbelievable. He has like over 450 credits. He's acted with, we just covered him in Freddy vs. Jason. So he has some great stories about how great it was working on set, like with Ken Kirzinger and working with Ronnie Yu, the director. So he had some funny stories about that. And really just his voice acting and how it all came to be. God, the guy was just so great to talk to. And yeah, so The Predator, it's going to be great to watch it because we've never seen it. Our horror sequel expert will be back for his first time. And that's Chris Egan for the first time since, Hellraiser. We're going to watch like Hellraiser 5. I think that's what it was.
I don't know what to expect from this movie, but I assure you it's better than the movie we just watched.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see. We will see. We will see.
Okay.
So don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast. Follow us on all social media at Sequels Only. And don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Good night.